All right.
Perfect. So do you want to start and introduce yourself?
Yeah. I'm Samantha, and I am the South Fallsburg High School representative for the union, for the teachers union. And so I'll be negotiating on their behalf today.
Okay, and I'm Finn, and I'm the high school principal in Fallsburg, and I'm also the chief negotiator for FSD, and I represent the whole Fallsburg school district. And a little bit to the background, which you probably know as well, because I saw you and I know we are both on the same negotiation team. And you're also a teacher at SFHS, right?
Yes.
Okay. And well, I saw you in the strike in 2001. And we both know that we want to avoid strikes, so that should be our last option. And I hope we can come to an agreement today.
Yes, definitely. We want that as well. We know that the district doesn't want to strike. We don't want to strike. So
Yes.
I really feel that we can do what's best for the district as a whole and make some good decisions today.
Yes. And well, as you know, the economic situation right now is not good for the whole district. I mean, the economy in general is increasing, or yeah, is on a good move, but due to the recession in the recent years, we are still behind, and we have poor class performance, which is what really concerns me right now, because at the end, I think it's about our all our students, because they really like, that's our passion, and we want them to have or we want them to be prepared for their future life.
Yeah, test scores are definitely down, so we need to do what we can do to increase the scores and help them because they're our main focus. And we definitely believe that as in the teachers union, we want what's best for the students. We're just making sure we're also taken care of.
Yes. And I personally feel all the criticism of like that we have bad test score, and basically everyone is upset with our school and our districts, and the strike is still like present. It had some good sides, but overall I think it affected even my family and my kids, yeah, they experienced all the bad media, and I really don't want to happen that again.
I agree. It made the district look bad to the state, and we need all the help we can get, for funding and grants and sponsorships right now. So we want to do what's best. No backlash, no problems. I really think this can be done civilly and easily as long as we've studied up. So I
Yes.
don't think it'll be much of a problem.
Yes, that's true. And well, as I'm the representative of the district, and my concerns are basically, yes, I understand you probably want more money and more time and more breaks. However, you should also understand that we have a big backlog of needs that we need to fulfill as well from the recent years, since we couldn't fulfill them due to the recession and due to our lack of resources, and we basically had no money. So there are also needs from the past that we have on our agenda that we have to fulfill.
Okay.
So it's basically not possible to fulfill all your needs 100%, since our budget is short, and I mean there's not much we can do about that budget right now, or at least in the short run. I mean, we will definitely try to improve that and improve it step by step and year by year.
Okay,
But
speaking of
yeah.
step by step, with the Teacher's Step program, is the school district happy with the program? Are they okay to continue on with the STEP program, or do they think that anything needs to be changed on that end?
Concerning this program, I believe I looked at the statistics and I saw we have a lot of seniors in
Yeah.
our teachers, which are 29 that get paid 61,200, and
Yes.
that's almost 1/3 of our whole cost for the teachers.
Right. And I've also noticed that we also have 19 um, people or teachers retiring this year. And I think how many of them? Or I'm sorry, we have 19 that are in the senior step program or area, and they'll be bringing back about $1,162,800 from those teachers that retired. So
Yeah.
I was hoping that from what, I guess I should explain exactly what the teachers are looking for before I just jump into everything.
Go ahead.
They really would like a 1-year contract. I think it normally goes on a 3-year contract, but
Yes.
with everything we're asking for, we just kind of want to make sure that the district follows through, especially with all of the public criticism. So mandatory basically that we get a 1-year contract, but it doesn't really necessarily mean everybody wants to leave after that. They just kind of want to make sure that the district follows through with everything that we come to terms with.
Mm-hmm.
The next request would be a 7% increase in salary. That's definitely negotiable, but we haven't had a pay increase in about 5 years, and to just, cost of living is so much, we'd really, really like the 7% increase, but I understand everything is negotiable. The other requests from the teachers are paid sabbaticals. They just believe that, statistics show that sabbaticals for teachers are good for how they work in the classroom, just gives them a little bit of a break. And that's really what they're asking for. They have some other complaints and issues, but the main issues are with those. But to increase, we had some ideas to increase funding. We already have
That was
sponsorship.
one of my ideas as well. Like we definitely, in order to raise more money, we should increase fundings, and I think that's at least one thing where we can both work on together.
Yes.
And because the more, like, the better the teamwork and the more people we can activate to actually work on that, I think the more success we will have. So I think that's something we can both work on and be very successful. I believe that.
I agree too. And one of the ideas for funding is we have funding, or we have sponsorship from Coke, from Microsoft, and from Nike. And we thought, asked for an increase in funding. I don't know what it would hurt, and they're already giving us sponsorship dollars, and we already use them. They're promoted throughout the school. We also had a thought, because we're supposed to be promoting healthy lifestyles, and we are using Coke. So we, as the teachers, we wanted to see if there was any way, instead of Coke just putting Coke products in the school for the vending machines, if there was any way that they could just put their Dasani water instead of the soda. That way it shows that we're promoting a healthy lifestyle for our students and our teachers, but without dropping the Coke sponsorship. I don't
Yes,
know.
because I think it's, I thought about the same. I think we should not drop the Coke sponsorship because it's $250,000 and I don't want to drop that at all. I thought about, I think we should more promote Cokes, and because Coke is big, like it's not only Coca-Cola, it's a lot more. So we should more provide the vending machines with healthier beverages, and maybe try to get another company as a corporation or as a partnership that has something to do with like green, healthy, and a green and healthy lifestyle.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think that's great. I also think, just top of my head, I think Coke owns like Minute Maid, so they would be
Yes.
able to put maybe more juices and
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that in the vending machines. We would really appreciate that. We know we can't lose Coke sponsorship, but we just wanted to ask them for different options.
Okay, I will write that down that we want to keep Coke and promote their more healthier beverages,
Yes.
just as Minute Maid.
Mhm.
And we want to make combined effort to get a new sponsorship in on Plus.
Yes, definitely.
That stands for healthy and green lifestyle.
Exactly.
And I mean, we could also try to promote some local companies,
Yeah.
so that way they can benefit from their local cooperation and partnership as well. And I think because they know about us, they know our school, they know we have a difficult time, so they might be, and even their kids might go to our school. So why not ask them whether they want to promote us or help us in any way? I mean, every penny is helping us basically.
Definitely. I don't think that's a bad idea. I think that would be really good actually. That was kind of along the lines of another option I was going to suggest is maybe the administration and teachers doing some fundraising, maybe like
Yes.
during the summer and getting the community involved in that way. And I think it would um, help us kind of show that we're working together now. And
Especially, I think we solve many problems with this because all the bad media about our school, about our teachers and everything. I think if we organize fundraisers all together as like the district and the teachers union, we show that we are still working together. Our teamwork increases. We have more motivation, and even our students can be involved in that as well. So their relationship with teachers and students increases, and we have probably better class performance because the relationship is better with the teachers and students.
I 100% agree. I think that's exactly what we need to do.
Perfect. So I will write that down as well as for our agreements. So for fundraising, we will have teachers, district, and students working together. On social and region or district actions, and yeah, we can determine. I think we can determine those later. So what specific fundraisers we will organize or have.
Okay, great. Um, I guess is the district opposed to a 1-year contract?
Um, yes, I mean 1 year is. I know the normal length is 3 years. And 1 year is really short because then, so what I understand, the contract would have to be renewed every year then, right?
I mean,
Or you
yes,
would have the chance to have to renew the contract every year.
right. Well, I mean, depending on the language of the contract, this year is what they were really requesting for a 1-year contract. So next year, if they're satisfied or just they're satisfied with what the district has done, I don't see why there couldn't be a 3-year contract again. It's just gotten to the point that the teachers, would like the option next year if we're still having all these issues to move on or negotiate it again. So it
Mhm.
doesn't necessarily mean that next year it'll just be another 1-year contract. It's just for this year.
And I totally understand that, and but I think we should also at least try out and see how it works with all our agreements that we hopefully will further come up with. And so I would suggest that we kind of meet in the middle and agree on a 2-year contract so that we have 1 year less, but still enough time to see the progress of all our work and are not that like short-binded, basically, that in a year we would have to negotiate again, and you would basically gain one year that's less than right now with the 3-year contract.
Well, the teachers that are here at the school now demanded that I come in and ask for a 1-year contract. But that doesn't necessarily mean that the new teachers we hire would need to be on that 1-year contract. So would it be possible for the existing teachers now to get the 1-year contract that they have asked for? And then the new teachers that we hire to replace the teachers that retired, they could still be put on a 2-year, 3-year contract. How does that sound?
Well, if we go with that, I would want the new teachers that we hire to be on a 3-year contract, though. Not that they don't start with a 2-year contract as a post. And we have all of them in a 3-year contract, first of all, and then the current ones, we can have them for right now in a 1-year contract. But yeah, as you said, if we see that everything is increasing and is evolving positive, I think we should you should tell them, and we should have an option that we increase the contract length next year again.
Okay, I think that sounds fair. It was just one of their main concerns, and I wanted to make sure that the existing teachers here are taken care of in that way. I really think that in a year's time, it'll be easy to tell whether, the district is doing or fulfilling the promises on their end, and to see if the teachers are fulfilling the promises on their end.
Yes.
So I think that's a good option. And I also think that for the teachers that we do hire this year, or the district hires, I think a good way to save some money so that we can increase the existing teachers' salaries.
I would like to hire new ones and young ones, especially.
Yes. I think that would help for sure, and it would definitely help with our STEP program, our salary program. That way that we could increase the salaries of the teachers that haven't had an increase in the past 5 years.
Yes, and I totally know that, like, all of you basically want an increase. I mean, who doesn't? But at this time, I simply cannot grant you a 7% increase, because that's just not within our budget. Right now, our budget is perfectly balanced to the penny. And with all that, okay, yes, we save money, and but 7% would not be, because we have to invest some money in other like school materials, for example, to increase classroom performances as well, because in the end we all care about our students and our classroom performance. I think that should be one of our main goals to improve. However, I see I'm willing to increase your compensation, and I would offer you a 3% compensation for the next year.
Okay. I think the teacher's salary is about $6,360,000. Is that correct? Okay. And then
yes,
what I
right.
noticed, if we got a 7% increase, it would total to $6,805,000, or sorry, $6,805,000. Wait a second. Sorry, I scribbled. It's about 6.8 million. So it increases by almost 500,000, but we aren't going to be hiring senior STEP teachers. And we also probably don't even need to hire all of the 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, the 23 that are retiring.
Well, you first of all, you forgot the new teachers that are coming in, because they won't start at step one. It depends on whether they already have some experience. So they might start at step 3 or 4 already. So they have higher salaries than the lowest salary we have in our category right now.
Right, but even if they're step 3 or 4, or even mid-level, like step 6 or 7, we're still gonna have extra money from the senior level teachers retiring. And I do
Yes.
understand that some of it definitely needs to go to supplies and textbooks and materials that are needed in the classroom. We 100% fully agree to that, because we don't want that coming out of our pocket. So would it be, and then we're going to be asking for extra funding from Coke and Microsoft if possible, and from the community. So there's going to be extra money, and that's really high priority for the Teachers Association. It's just extremely hard to live salaries they have now. So would it be possible for a 5% increase? It would, that number is about $318,000. And for the people that are retiring, the teachers that are retiring, we're gaining back, and this is not including the teachers we hire, but just the teachers that are retiring, we're gaining back $369,200. So the 5% increase is less than that amount. And then we'll be hopefully getting more sponsorship money and, fundraising this summer and through the school year. So would it be possible for that 5% increase? I think we have the funds to do it. It looks like we have the funds to do
Yes,
it.
we do. However, you cannot forget that I would like to hire a few additional teachers, since right now I had to cut all your prep time and your lunch breaks.
I do
And our classes, like our class capacity is too high. So I would like to split that up a little bit and have less people in one class. And for that, I would need to hire a few more teachers.
Well, we would actually be okay. I mean, we understand that the lunch and our prep time is being cut, but that gives time, or
For
gives
one,
us
yeah,
opportunity for another class.
yes.
So we can kind of spread the students out as long as they're, as long as we can keep it to about 28 to 30 students in each class. We are perfectly fine sacrificing the prep and lunch hour, adding another class. And I think that'll balance everything out for the teachers. It's going to be a little more work on our end if we don't hire as many teachers, but we're okay with that as long as the max in the classroom doesn't go over about 28 to 30 students. You'd be okay with that?
Okay, and how about we come to a compromise there as well? Like, I'm willing to give you a 4% pay increase, and we only hire a few more new teachers. Like that, we split the just gain, like that's basically left, and we can purchase that. So some of the money will go to your compensation, to your pay increase. Some of the money, new materials, and a few more teachers, so that with having a few more teachers, you get a 4% pay increase, and you also have, due to the new teachers, you also have longer prep time and lunch breaks as well.
Okay, so if we took the 4% increase, we'd be able to have more prep time and
yes.
lunch period?
Yeah, you have more prep time, more lunch breaks, and the classes will also be smaller since we have more teachers.
I'd say that sounds. I'm fine with that.
Hmm.
I understand the economy is bad, and the increase, will
And
continue now
furthermore,
that
all the existing teachers have like they all only have a 1 year contract. So next year we can basically talk again about new pay increases.
okay, I'm good with that.
Okay, so I will write down that we agree on a 4% pay increase, and additionally hire a few new teachers so that overall the prep time and lunch time will increase, and class size will decrease.
Okay.
Perfect. And did you mention any other issue?
The existing teachers they want paid sabbaticals, and I think it would be fair for the existing teachers to have paid sabbaticals, but I think there should be some requirements to those sabbaticals. I know sabbaticals are, to give yourself some time away from work.
Yes.
And for these 1 year contracts, I think it should kind of be a test period for these sabbaticals to see if they actually do help classroom performance and help the teachers clear their minds and get a little
Mm-hmm.
break from work. So my suggestion is for the existing teachers that will be on the 1 year contract, um, allow them a paid sabbatical, and we can decide on the length of time that they would be able to have. But I think that if they decide to take the sabbaticals, they should be required this year to attend some sort of teacher retreat or teacher seminars while they're on their sabbaticals, because I think whatever they're doing at this time needs to help their performance in the classroom. So just even though it's still kind of work related for them, they're still doing something that helps the district while they're gone.
Mm-hmm. And I totally understand that the sabbaticals. I also agree that they probably will help the teachers to get motivated and be satisfied with their job, and might even decrease our turnover rate, so that in the next year when we have the new negotiations with the current teachers, that they are more willing to stay in our district. But as you know, and as we already talked about, since you have a 4% pay increase, and we also want to hire some new teachers, our budget is like getting smaller again, and so I I'm having struggles. I struggle to offer you a fully paid sabbatical.
Okay.
However, I could offer you that it's basically half paid, and that you get half of your pay that you would normally get.
Okay.
And we can call it a test period, and see whether or I'm hoping from this that the teachers are more willing to renew their contracts next year.
Yeah, and I do really think that it will push for more teachers to see that the district cares. They understand you're going to need a break. But I also think that it should be required that the teachers do go to some kind of teaching seminar,
Yes.
workshop,
Yes, I would like to see that.
something.
So yeah, I would definitely agree on that, and that's basically like your duty to communicate that to all the other teachers. That I like to see them going to on sabbatical, and I'm also willing to like half pay it, But I would also like to see them going to some activities or some readings that are increasing their skills and their knowledge.
Yeah, I completely agree. What would be a good amount of time for their sabbatical leave? It'll be half pay, which I think is an acceptable amount because this is kind of a trial period since we're going to do a 1 year
Yes.
contract. So I think it's good to
Yeah.
kind of test everything out that way. How long do you think their sabbaticals should be?
That's a good question. Well, isn't there something in our contract already that says something about the sabbatical leave?
I think we have something in the contract about the leave of absence. I'm not sure if it mentions anything. I've got it up here. Let me see if I can find anything.
Well, anyways, I would I would be willing to offer 3 days and with the weekend, so it would be Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and you would also be able to stay on Saturday and Sunday. So it's basically effectively 5 days of sabbatical, and you would have 5 days to relax, take your mind off, but also probably most of the trainings or the speakers are over the weekend. So over the weekend, they could go to listen to some speakers or do some training to gain new knowledge and skills.
Okay, I think that's acceptable.
Perfect. So I will write down that we agree on half paid sabbatical, but it's required to visit some training or speakers. And for the speakers or the training, should we sit together and or you come up with a program or some options that the teachers can go to, and you will come back and talk to me, and I approve it, and then we give that list of options to the teachers.
Yeah, I think that's perfectly acceptable.
Perfect. Then I say that we have a approved list of options of activities that we both agree on. And it will be 3 days from Wednesday to Friday and over the weekend. So effectively 5 days.
Okay.
Perfect.
I think one of the other issues, and we touched on this a little bit earlier, was about like public criticism of the school.
Yeah, I heard about that. Yeah, but keep going, explain your case.
The issue is just our grievance program or our complaint program. It's not very good. We usually have like complaints. It looks like a lot gets directed towards the superintendent, and he can tend to play favorites sometimes. So even if the complaint is valid, sometimes he's not carrying out punishment for the issue. And I thought that there might be a better way to go about the complaints. Obviously not publicly. Everything needs to be done internally. And I think that there might need to be some kind of like what we're dealing with here, just some kind of maybe a board set up that is filled with teachers and administration that maybe come together and talk about the teachers' issues, talk about the administration issues, maybe a board that could be met. They could meet monthly, I also had the suggestion of taking the problems instead of into the superintendent, maybe taking them to the school board instead for both teachers and administration, just so it's not one person making decisions or
Yes,
carrying out.
yeah, I definitely agree on that. That I think it should not only be one person that basically finally decides what is how the situation is being handled. So I think that should at least go more than one person, and we can come up with a board, certainly, yes, where we have the most different amount of different parties in the board, so we have a lot of perspectives. But I will personally talk to my district people and advise them again on how to handle those situations, because I do not like the way those situations are handled, because I don't think it's fair for you as well, and that they are handled in two perspectives and not two clear guidelines. And my suggestion was we both come up with we basically revise our program, what you already did. The teachers union is coming up with one model how it could be done, and we are getting together and revise the program as well, and then we both basically both present our ideas, and we will merge them together to build one final procedure on how to handle those situations.
Okay, I think that's perfectly acceptable. The public criticism that did happen to the teachers was, or some of the teachers, I should say, was like, at sporting events, parents and students saw administration, talking down to teachers or telling them they were doing something wrong. We hoped that there would be a better way to do that, and like you said, we'll kind of merge both of our ideas together. But I think the best option for that, regardless of how it's set up, is to make sure that everything's in writing, whether that be actual writing or typed. I think every complaint and issue, whether it be teachers, complaints against the administration or admin against the teachers, it needs to be documented. It doesn't really just need to be, I don't like the way you're doing that with nobody else around, because then, nobody knows how many times this problem has occurred.
Yes, and that would also support transparency within our whole process.
Yes.
Yes, I wrote down that that we decided to have the decision by more than only one person, and that we tried to have most of our parties involved, especially some of the teachers, like you as the as one of the union leaders and one of our board members, and that we will sit together in the near future, and every party is basically coming up or having some ideas for how to improve the procedure, and then we will both we will be on the ideas that we like and come up with a revised procedure for this, and everything will be documented in the future.
Okay.
And I think like one issue that I had is basically we have bad publicity because it was done in public, all the criticism, and I think our fund will really help with that issue, because it shows that teachers and the boards are still working together, and like basically showing a good image of us, not that we only with the bad image we have right now with public criticism and everything. And we should involve everyone in the community, so teachers, the board, the principals, the directors, and also the parents and the students themselves.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. I think like the fundraising will help, and just like at the sporting events, seeing administration and teachers working together, I think it's really going to help. And then hopefully the more positive feedback we get and the support from the community, that will, that'll increase funding, that will increase grants.
Yes.
It'll keep, all of the employees satisfied and happy if they're working
And
in
maybe we
a
won't
positive
see that
environment.
big of a success in the first years, but I think if we keep going and everyone will know about our fundraisers, and they will be more successful in the future.
Yes. Yeah. I totally agree.
Perfect. And was there anything else you mentioned at the beginning, like what basically your issues were?
Um, well, it wasn't on our need list, but we know that insurance is going to be increasing, and we'd hoped for a 25% increase over the $829 that the district contributes now. And I understand the budget is tight, and I do understand that you increased our salary 4% for this 1-year contract. So at this point, basically all of our other needs have been met, and I can wait to discuss that issue after the 1-year contract is up.
Yeah, that was my suggestion, that we don't discuss that now, but I will keep that. I wrote that down, and I will keep that in mind. And depending on how successful our fundraiser, that will be one of the highest priority issues that we can discuss next year after the contract expires again.
Definitely. I think that's the way to go about it. And hopefully with hopefully extra sponsorship and fundraising, we can get to a better place next year. I think the right thing to do with all of the fundraising money and extra sponsorship is maybe to set up some separate accounts that are specific to the needs of the district. Like, this account is specifically for materials and supplies in the classroom, and there after every fundraiser. And this account is for, the insurance needs of the teachers and the employees.
Yeah.
And once we make so much money, we put a distinct amount of money in there each time we have a fundraiser or an increase in sponsorship.
That sounds good. Yeah. And like this, we also keep the overview of how much money we can spend, and we don't have any deficit or negative balance in the next years, hopefully.
Yeah. I really think that we're on the right track, though, to improve the district financially and socially. So hopefully we can knock this year out and have an even better year next year.
Yes, and so it seems like we are basically done. Like, from my side, I'm through everything basically. Like, I'm done. Do you have anything else to? So I will just.
I don't think I do. I guess maybe I think we hit everything that I thought I needed to talk about, and I guess you did as well. So yeah, I think all we need to do now is I guess sign the papers.
Yes, and I will just read you what I wrote down our agreements are, and so you can basically revise it again. So I wrote down concerning the sponsorships that we want to keep Coke because it's our main sponsor of $250, but we rather want to promote their healthier beverages or products such as Minute Maid, and make combined effort to get a new sponsorships or even more sponsorships, especially local ones that stand for healthy and green lifestyle.
Okay.
And concerning the fundraisers, we want the teachers, the administration board, the district, and the students and the parents to work together so that we have more teamwork, we are more socially active, and for example, with sporting events or any kind of those fun events that actually bring people together and where we have a lot of fun.
Yes.
And concerning the contract length, we will have a 1-year contract length for the current teachers, and all the new teachers will begin with a 3-year contract length, and we will have the opportunity to increase the contract length next year if the teachers are happy with the situation and we can see that the situation is increasing and we're doing better.
Yes.
And concerning the compensation, we agreed on a 4% pay increase for current teachers, and we will. It's only 4% because we want to. With the other money, we want to hire new teachers, so that the overall prep time and lunch time for every teacher will increase, and the class size overall will decrease.
Okay.
Concerning the sabbatical, we will have a half-paid sabbatical, but it will be required to visit some sort of training or speakers to gain some further knowledge and new motivation or new insights. And we both will sit together at a later time, and or you will come up with a list of activities or events the teachers can choose from to go to visit, and the sabbatical will be 3 days. It will be Wednesday to Thursday, and they can stay over the weekend as well.
Okay.
Concerning the criticism process in our district, we decided on that the decisions will be made in the future by more than only one person, preferably by involving a lot of different parties, meaning the teachers and the district board, and to generally revise the criticism process. We both sit together, the district and the teachers. They come up with individual suggestions to improve the process, and then we will sit together, brainstorm our ideas, and come up with one new process that satisfies both needs.
Yes,
and
I am.
And everything should be documented.
Yes. Can you also write down or agree to that the new grievance program and the criticism issues, that we'll decide that before the school year actually starts? That way, we're not starting the school year with the same problem. So if we work this summer, communicate back and forth, and then
Yes.
get that system set up before it starts.
Yes, certainly. Yeah. So I wrote that down that the new criticism process or protocol should be done before the new school year starts.
Okay.
And then we have the concerning the health benefits. We will not adjust them right now, but I understand that they are important, and we will see next year when we have our next get together on negotiation. We will see how successful our fundraisers and our sponsorship search was, and then we will determine how we proceed with the health benefits.
Okay.
And overall, we want to kind of restructure it a little bit and set up different accounts for different needs such as school needs, such as accounts for supplies or renewal or new computer system, and teachers' needs such as pay increase and health benefits, for example.
Okay.
Perfect. So that's everything I wrote down, and on behalf of the FSD, I sign that contract.
Okay. Well, I sign as well.
Perfect. All right. Bye.
Bye.